Greetings, everybody. This is a video response to my good friend Mark P., who is a member of the vinyl community, and he had asked us to make a video response in honoring his 500 subscribers milestone. First of all, congratulations, Mark, for reaching 500 subs. You deserve them, and as I already see, you're on your way close to 600 already since you made the contest announcement. So you're well on your way, and as you can see, they'll go pretty fast. So I'm honored to do this because I really like Mark, and he's a good guy, and we will get right to it now. Okay, he wanted us to answer some questions. First question being to show our favorite box set. It's funny, I don't have as many box sets, certainly not as many as you do, Mark. You're the king of the box sets in many ways here. But I did have a few thoughts of which ones to show, and then it hit me. This is like probably the most recent box set I got, and a lot of people have out there in the vinyl community. And it's one that I'm honored to show, and I'll tell you why. You already know, Mark. It's a box set of the Christmas releases, the Christmas recordings. And I'm not going to take it out of here because if you just look back, folks, you know, to just recent videos within the last couple of months, you'll see that I showed this in its entirety. It's got colored vinyl on here, all the Beatles Christmas messages between 1963 and 1969. Now, what makes this so special, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, Mark, is that Mark P. actually bought this for me as a gift around the holidays. So I'm eternally grateful, and in addition to me just loving this set, and for all this kind of goodies that are in here, I actually have it close to my heart. It means a lot to me and is my favorite because of the immense generosity that Mark showed me. So enough of that. Right? Get the mushy stuff out of the way. Next question was, show your favorite album by your favorite artist. Who's my favorite artist? The first thing I had to do was think about that for a while, and I guess I'll show the Beatles because, you know, why not? And I showed this album many times. Those of you who watch my channel know what my pick is going to be. It's an odd pick if you're talking about the Beatles because it's a U.S. album. It's the Beatles' second album, which is my favorite Beatles album. Why? Well, you know, I grew up on the U.S. albums when I first started as a kid, and I've always loved, well, I like the cover of the Beatles' second album here, and in addition to liking the cover, well, the material on it is just really kind of like heavier and rocking. This album never lets up from start to finish. It's kind of an assault on, you know, kind of like intense kind of music. I really like the tracks they chose here. You get stuff like Roll Over Beethoven, Money. John does a fantastic gut-wrenching version of Money. You Can't Do That. Long Tall Sally with Paul screaming his lungs out. I'll Get You, She Loves You, I Call Your Name, on and on. It's got a kind of Motown vibe to it, too, at the same time. I just love this album. It's sentimentally a favorite, but it's also just aesthetically a good album, good listen. Now, what's the oldest record that I own? Now, I really wanted to get this right, and I'm not sure I have. I've got a lot of 78s. Now, the thing about this is, you know, I was recently getting into, like, old big band music. So I have some Glenn Miller. I have albums by the Dorseys. But I'm not sure. I couldn't find them, actually, in this mess that I got in here in this room. I know they're in here somewhere, but I got a lot of 45s, EPs. Well, not 45s, but I guess extended plays. So I didn't know what the oldest was. So what I decided to go with was the 10-inch records that I had, and I narrowed it down to 3. I know what the oldest one is of these 3, but I'm going to show them all anyway, just to pad out the video a little bit. First, we have the first album by Frank Sinatra. This is the voice of Frank Sinatra. This is officially his first album, you know, but it's from 1946, and you know, it's got all records in there. This is what we used to call an album before we had, you know, the long-playing album. We had an album like this, which is like several records in here in pages. And that's where the term album came from, by the way. But that's not the oldest. Now, I thought it might be Al Jolson. I have an Al Jolson old-fashioned album there. And when I looked this up, I found this is also 1946. So the oldest one that I could find, and I think I might have showed this in another video when the same question was asked, was Merry Christmas, Bing Crosby. This is 1945. And, I used to have a much better copy of this in my old collection, and I got rid of it. So this one here, as you can see, the edges hanging off there. It's got all the 78 albums in there. This is the oldest, I think, record I own, 1945. I may own older records that I don't even know about, but that's the best I could do, trying to nail it. The next question was, what's the newest record that you own? And I didn't know how to go about that. I didn't know whether Mark meant, what's just the newest release you bought, even if it's old material, or if he meant like a brand new, like new material of a new album. I went with the new material. What's the newest album? And I'm sorry, folks, if you're thinking that I got anything brand new by like, Beyonce or somebody like that. The newest album I think that I bought was from September of last year. It's 5 months old. It's Ringo's Give More Love. To the best of my knowledge, this is the newest album I have of new material. I didn't buy anything from 2018 yet. So, Ringo, plug for Ringo. Good album, by the way. Pick it up. Okay. Now, most bizarre or weirdest album that you own. Now, I had a number of choices for most weird album. I had them in my mind. I knew what I was going to show. But then as I was going through those 78s, the Frank Sinatra and Al Jolson, I went through my 78 collection. I found something. I said, this is something which may qualify for a weird album. Jackeline's Glamour Stretcher Time. Stretcher, right? Stretcher Time. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Yeah, I could use a little of this exercise. Yeah, I'm working on it, folks. I'm working on it. It takes time, okay? But this is a record. For those who don't know, Jack LaLanne used to be a fitness guru. He used to have a television program. You'd wake up in the morning, turn your TV on, and exercise to Jack LaLanne. And I think didn't he even pull a boat with his teeth or something? I thought he had like a publicity stunt where he pulled a boat or a train or something with his teeth, as we hear the train coming through this morning. I've never played this yet, but it's got to be a riot. I was thinking of actually playing this, this exercise record, while I was making the video, but maybe some other time. Inside this album, you have a booklet here, Jack LaLanne instruction chart, Glamour Stretcher, and if you want to exercise with Jack, there you go. There's all the ways of using it. I feel like I'm getting slimmer just looking at this already. Now, the next question is to show a guilty pleasure album. And Mark, I hate to be like everybody else, because every time this question comes up, we all feel compelled to say, well, I'm not really guilty. Guilty is a strong word. Do you really feel guilty about this? But I think what this question means when they say guilty pleasure is to show a record that you know is considered a little embarrassing. People look down on it, stuff like that, so you feel it's a guilty pleasure. Okay, well, for me, if you watch some of my last videos, this is my all-purpose guilty pleasure album. I can't think of anything guiltier. It's Meet the Brady Bunch. Okay, the Brady Bunch was a show that I grew up in as a child. I grew up on, as a child, and I had good memories of the Brady Bunch. So I picked up this album. It was in really nice shape, and whenever I think of the Brady Bunch, I think of my youth, and nothing wrong with that. I haven't played it yet. I know what else is new, right? But there's songs here like Time to Change. Anybody who knows the Brady Bunch TV shows knows the point when Peter's voice is changing and he sings a song, Time to Change, which was funny. But it's a fun song, and there's a lot of stuff here. We Can Make the World a Whole Lot Brighter, Me and You and a Dog Named Boo, that song. day after day they sing, the kids sing. Also, they do American Pie on here. Bye Bye Miss American Pie. So, can't get much guiltier than that. Let's see. Now, the last question is, Mark wanted to know what do we like about his channel? What do I like about his channel, and why did I subscribe? Well, the first thing I like is that you show a lot of interesting box sets. That seems to be your forte. It seems to me to be where you want to kind of take your channel, like kind of like your niche, you know, your style, you know, that's your signature. And that was interesting. But I also found I liked you in your presentation. A lot of people, I've watched some response videos, they say this too. They like your presentation. They like that you're kind of relaxed and at ease and soothing. I wish I could be more like that, Mark. I really do at times. But you really have a very nice kind of like vibe about you, very relaxing and soothing. So that's always easy to watch your videos. So that's what I like, and you know, plus your content is Beatles oriented. I subscribed because of your personality, because of the cool box sets, but also because you're a Beatles guy. And then Mark asked us, you know, what do we want to see from him in the future? Well, I'll tell you, as much as I enjoy the box sets, personally, Mark, I'd like a little bit more variety. I'd like to see you branch out more. I'd like to see you do other things, you know, talk about specific album reviews, talk about, you know, certain songs, you know, that you like or not. Just figure like other things to occasionally, you know, merge out with. I'd like to see a little more in-depth reviews of records and things like that. So thanks a lot, Mark, and, you know, you'll be hitting 1,000 before you know it, trust me, okay? Take care.